What if you could quickly comprehend someone without knowing a single thing about their past? We've all been there, meeting someone for the first time and trying to figure them out. Perceiving and responding to non-verbal clues and signals is a talent that everyone can cultivate. The capacity to read people is not a supernatural talent. In today's video, I'll show you 6 methods to read people quickly without knowing them, and we'll also use some advice from Stoic thinkers. One of the most important skills for managing relationships and life in general is learning to observe and comprehend human nature. Stoicism teaches us just that. Click the subscribe button if you're ready to alter the game when it comes to reading people. Number 1. Body language. Let's begin with the fact that body language is the most evident indicator ever. According to the teachings of Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, it is not what happens to you that matters. What matters is how you react to its occurrence. Moreover, this is precisely what is communicated through body language, the reactions, feelings, and intentions of an individual, all without their uttering a single word. Be sure to observe how someone stands and how they arrange their arms and legs when you first meet them. With their arms crossed or their shoulders slouched, are they open, facing you, or closed off with their arms crossed? A comfortable and engaged posture indicates that they are open. Anxiety, defensiveness, or discomfort can be conveyed through a closed posture. It is possible that Epictetus would advise us to watch without passing judgment. Even if someone is reticent, you shouldn't always infer that they are unpleasant. A tale can be gleaned from their body language, but the most important thing is to study them without bias. The philosophy of Stoicism serves to remind us that our perceptions are frequently influenced by our own preconceived notions. But if we remove our preconceived notions, we are able to perceive individuals for who they truly are. Beyond the apparent, look for more. There is a possibility that someone is crossing their arms not because they are closed off, but because they are cold. It is possible that they are bashful, yet they are not uninterested in what is going on. Consider taking a mental step back and asking yourself, what else could possibly be true in this situation? The Stoics were known for their practice of careful observation, which consisted of seeing the world in its natural state without attaching any premature judgments to it. Check their feet as a short piece of advice to keep in mind. It may sound unusual, but if someone's feet are directed toward you, it indicates that they are interested and engaged in what you're doing. If they are turned away, it may be an indication that they want to quit the conversation. Because they are frequently beyond our conscious control, the feet are a reliable indicator of someone's intentions because they never lie. Another oblique indication, perhaps, the way in which individuals interact with the things that are in their immediate vicinity, such as fidgeting with their phone, adjusting their clothing, or continuously touching their hair. Even when the person's words give the impression that they are not confident, these little uneasy gestures frequently convey that they are uncomfortable or lack confidence. One of the most important aspects of interpreting body language is paying attention to these particulars without allowing your mind to fill in the blanks too soon. Number 2, eye movement. The eyes are the second method that can be used to swiftly read people. Seneca, a Roman Stoic, is credited with making the famous statement that a person's character is shown through their actions. What if, however, we were to extend that statement to include the phrase, a person's character is revealed through their eyes? Isn't it true that the eyes are the window to the soul? Pay attention to the manner in which people make eye contact. If they keep eye contact with you in a steady and calm manner, it is likely that they are confident and involved in the conversation. Nevertheless, if they avoid making eye contact, blink excessively, or continue to look away, it is possible that they are experiencing feelings of anxiety, distraction, or even dishonesty. According to Stoic philosophy, the pursuit of truth and authenticity is the most important thing, and the eyes do not lie. When you are chatting to someone, pay attention to how their gaze moves at that moment. Would you say that they are fully there with you, or do they have their thoughts elsewhere? Seneca was a firm believer in the power of presence, which he defined as being totally involved in the present moment. Directly reflecting this presence is, in many ways, the act of making eye contact. A person is revealing a portion of themselves to you when they look at you straight without any hesitation or wavering. This includes their attention, their focus, and their honesty. When their eyes dart around, on the other hand, it may indicate that their mind is elsewhere, that they are uncomfortable, or that they are concealing something by doing so. Unease, or even deception, can be inferred from the fast shifting of their eyes or the excessive blinking that they do. When you ask someone something that makes them feel uncomfortable, have you ever observed that they tend to turn away or lose eye contact? When we're feeling vulnerable or guilty, it is a natural human instinct to protect ourselves from making direct eye contact. Eye contact that is maintained for an extended period of time can be interpreted as a sign of trust and openness. Yet, it can also be interpreted as a power play. A lesson that we learn from Stoicism is to avoid going to extremes. If someone maintains eye contact throughout the entire interaction, it is possible that they are attempting to dominate or control the situation. It is essential to strike a balance. Someone who is comfortable, genuine, and present is typically characterized by maintaining a healthy balance of eye contact while still allowing for natural breaks. Additionally, pay attention to the direction in which someone is looking. When people are envisioning or inventing something, they have a tendency to glance up and to the right, yet when they are recalling a memory, they may look to the left. This is something that has been demonstrated by empirical research. To determine if someone is reflecting on real events or merely manufacturing comments on the fly, you can use this subtle indication to assist you determine the difference. The eyes reveal more information than any words could ever tell. The Stoics were aware of the fact that authenticity, which is a form of truth that cannot be fabricated, is frequently discovered in the things that we do not express. Moreover, this is most readily seen in the eyes of the individual. Number 3. Microexpressions. Now we will discuss the third tool, which is microexpressions, which is widely considered to be the most powerful tool. The expressions of emotion that arise on a person's face for a fraction of a second before they are able to conceal their genuine feelings are so fleeting that they are practically impossible to detect. Within the pages of his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius meditated profoundly on the behavior of humans. He made the observation that you have control over your mind, not over events that occur outside of you. Recognize this, and you will discover the strength you need. The ability to comprehend the micro-expressions of another person enables one to gain insight into the inner workings of their mind, which lies underneath the surface. Stoic philosophy, at its essence, instructs us to delve under the surface and examine human nature for what it actually is, which is unfiltered and unrefined. Micro-expressions are the places where we are able to capture that rawness. A person may attempt to conceal their feelings of anger, sadness, or fear by wearing a grin or maintaining a neutral expression. Yet the truth may be revealed for a fraction of a second. It's possible that these little expressions will only persist for a fraction of a second, but for that brief instant, you will be able to catch a peek of their genuine feelings before they put their mask back on. For instance, a flash of disdain, such as a little wrinkle of the nose or a raise of the top lip, may convey deeper feelings of anger or dislike by the person, even if they are appearing to be nice. A momentary tightness of the jaw or a narrowing of the eyes may be an indication of anger that has been repressed. Marcus Aurelius instilled in us the ability to manage our own reactions. Nevertheless, when we read the reactions of others, these flashes uncover areas in which they may not be as in control of their feelings. The ability to recognize micro-expressions is comparable to having access to the unfiltered feelings of another person. While they may make an effort to control the things they say or the expressions they maintain for a longer period of time, their face reveals their true feelings in those fleeting seconds that are not within their control. The most important thing is to practice. The ability to recognize micro-expressions is not something that can be acquired overnight. You will begin to recognize these signs, however, if you pay attention, and I mean that in a genuine sense, to the minute changes that occur in the faces of other people. These are the signals that actual emotions are simmering beneath the surface. A smile that is just skin deep, eyes that crinkle for only a moment in amusement before someone hides their true feeling of displeasure. A flash of panic that is swiftly replaced by calmness. These are the signs. Words frequently conceal the internal world, while micro-expressions provide a glimpse into that reality. By the time you have mastered the technique of perceiving them, it will feel as if you had a sixth sense when it comes to reading people. It should come as no surprise that several of Marcus Aurelius's works placed a strong emphasis on comprehending human nature. The ability to see the world clearly, including the feelings of other people, even when they are attempting to conceal them, was something that he was well aware of. Number 4. Tone of voice. When it comes to reading individuals, the next important factor is their tone of voice. Stoic philosophy teaches us that the manner in which we talk about something is just as important as the content of what we say. The ancient Greek philosopher Epictetus once made the observation that because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, we are able to listen twice as much as we talk. When you pay close attention to what is being said, you will discover that tone frequently conveys more information than words do. A tone that is calm and steady gives the impression that the person speaking is in control, self-assured, and at ease. A voice that is weak or high-pitched could be an indication of nervousness, tension, or even dishonesty. Whether it's the rising pitch at the end of a phrase or the pauses between words, tone provides us with subtle signals about what's going on beneath the surface of the conversation. Listen not only to the content, but also to the manner in which the message is conveyed. It is not uncommon for someone to say one thing, but their tone of voice exposes their genuine feelings. As an illustration, a person may claim that they are all right, but if their voice is trembling or they speak quickly, you may tell that they are very much not fine. The philosopher Epictetus held the belief that true wisdom is not found in only reacting, but rather in observing. A person's manner of speech can provide insight into whether or not they are concealing anything, whether or not they are uncertain, or whether or not they are suppressing feelings that they are not yet prepared to convey. For instance, even if the speaker is attempting to appear composed, a delivery that is choppy and rapid-fire can be an indication of agitation or impatience. On the other side, a tone that is slow and deliberate can convey a sense of confidence or deliberation. The manner in which a person modulates their voice is another technique to determine whether or not they are actually present with you. An individual who is not engaged or preoccupied may have a voice that is monotone and flat, whereas an individual who is genuinely interested may have a tone that is warm and varied. This capacity to read tone is a direct result of Epictetus's notion that we should listen more than we speak. It is common for people to disclose their inner condition through the way they speak, even if their words appear to be completely neutral. The Stoic concept of apatheia, which translates to freedom from passion, does not imply that we should be emotionless. Rather, it suggests that we should learn to notice our feelings without allowing them to consume us. Listening to the tone of voice is one of the most straightforward ways to accomplish this. The things that are not said are heard by us. Pauses are another important aspect to take into consideration. When a person hesitates before speaking, or if they frequently pause in the middle of a statement, it may be an indication that they are selecting their words carefully, potentially in order to avoid expressing the whole truth. Long periods of silence are frequently indicative of discomfort, but rapid and hurried speaking may be an indication of anxiousness or a wish to get out of the conversation. When you take into account not only what individuals are saying, but also how they are saying it, you are able to have a more profound comprehension of the emotions that they're experiencing. The teachings of Epictetus serve as a reminder to pay attention to these subtle signs. In many cases, we are able to reveal the layers that lie beneath the surface by tuning in to tone. If you find that this analysis of reading people resonates with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you may receive additional in-depth insights on human behavior. Number 5. Hand gestures. Let's discuss hand gestures, which are frequently disregarded. When someone is speaking, the way in which they move their hands can reveal a great deal about what is going on in their mind. Action, in accordance with Stoic philosophy, exposes one's character. Hands that are hidden, such as in pockets or behind the back, may indicate that a person is feeling guarded or is concealing something, whereas exposed palms are a sign of honesty and openness. In both their thinking and their acts, the Stoic philosophers advocated for clarity and transparency. The hands of a person can reveal how transparent they are being in a conversation, just as the Stoics were known to cultivate transparency in their ideas. Please pause for a moment and consider the openness of your hands. When a person displays their hands while they are speaking, they are sending the message that they have nothing to conceal. It's a behavior that comes naturally and communicates trust and vulnerability. On the other hand, when a person's hands are concealed in their pockets or behind their back, it can give the impression that they are uncomfortable or even suspicious of them. There is a sense that they are concealing something, whether it is their feelings or their genuine goals. In his work Meditations, Marcus Aurelius emphasizes that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. This theory is precisely in line with what he says in his books. Similar to how facial expressions reveal a person's inner world, gestures do the same. While rigid, constricted gestures frequently indicate reluctance or hiding, open, fluid movements demonstrate a mind that is open and engaged. Observe how lively the hands of another person are. This is a professional piece of advice. It is likely that they are feeling eager and confident if they are utilizing a lot of hand gestures. Generally speaking, when a person's hand gestures are broad and purposeful, it indicates that they are feeling in control of the situation and that they are freely expressing themselves. The gestures described here are those of a person who is in tune with their feelings and thoughts and allows them to flow out in a natural way. On the other side, if their hands are not moving or are tucked away, it is possible that they are concealing something, whether it be information or emotion. Stoic philosophy encourages us to behave in a way that is both purposeful and honest. When someone's hands are kept hidden or controlled, it may be an indication that they are not communicating their thoughts in a way that is congruent with what they are actually saying. Additionally, take note of the distinction between deliberate gestures and fidgeting. A person who moves their hands on purpose is in command of the discussion and the message that they are trying to convey. However, a person who fidgets with their hands, whether by tapping their fingers, massaging their palms, or frequently altering their position, is most likely experiencing anxiousness or discomfort. This slight anxiousness may be an indication that they are experiencing feelings of uncertainty or insecurity regarding what they are expressing. Through the observation of hand gestures, you are able to access an additional layer of communication that goes beyond the use of words. In the same way that the Stoics believed in watching human nature with clarity and precision, reading these seemingly insignificant gestures can provide you with great insight into what a person genuinely feels or wants to do. Number 6. Personal space. Last but not least, let's talk about personal space. Even if there is no verbal communication between the two of you, the distance that separates you from another person can reveal a great deal about how they feel about you. Marcus Aurelius frequently pondered the significance of limits, both mental and physical, in his life. He highlighted the importance of respecting one's own inner space in his meditations, with the goal of shielding the mind from distractions that come from the outside world. This Stoic attitude to boundaries is applicable to the physical world in the same way that it is to the mental world. In this day and age, it is essential to respect personal space in order to comprehend the level of comfort that someone feels to be in your presence. It is possible that a person will feel more at ease or confident in your presence if they invade your personal space. On the other hand, if they are maintaining their distance, it is probably an indication that they are uneasy or uncertain. One way to think about personal space is as an invisible bubble that surrounds each individual and serves as a boundary that indicates their level of comfort. Whenever someone enters your sphere of influence, it may be an indication that they are comfortable with you or even secure in their relationship with you. If, on the other hand, they maintain a large distance from you, this could be an indication of reluctance, shyness, or even a wish to keep emotional distance between the two of you. It was a central tenet of Stoic philosophy that natural boundaries should be respected in all aspects of life, including interpersonal relationships and the way we engage with the wider environment. The same way that you wouldn't want to overwhelm someone psychologically or emotionally, you also don't want to overwhelm them with physical space. An excessive amount of proximity can make a person feel threatened or uncomfortable, whereas an excessive amount of distance can indicate disinterest or discomfort. One thing that is fascinating to witness is how individuals shift their proximity to one another throughout the course of a conversation. Someone who first distances themselves from you but gradually gets closer to you is an indication that they are growing more comfortable with you, building trust in you, or becoming more engaged with you. However, if someone moves backward, increasing the gap between you, it may be an indication that they are experiencing feelings of nervousness or being overwhelmed. You should also be aware of the cultural distinctions that exist in terms of personal space. At the same time as certain societies are more at ease with close contact, others place a higher value on greater distance. The practice of Stoicism teaches us to watch without passing judgment. Therefore, it is important to keep in mind that the proximity or distance between two people may be influenced by their history and not always by their thoughts toward you. Take into consideration the relationship between personal space and power dynamics. A person who's in a position of power may move into your space as a means of showing their dominance, whereas a person who is feeling inferior or afraid may remain further back. When you are conscious of these subtle dynamics, you're able to have a deeper comprehension of the relationship that exists between you and the individual with whom you are dealing. A person's personal space is not simply the distance between them physically. Rather, it's a language that's not spoken. It tells how much someone trusts you, how comfortable they are with you, and how they view the interaction that you are having with them. The Stoic ideal of maintaining appropriate boundaries can serve as a guide for us in this situation. It is important to respect the space of others, but it is also important to recognize when someone's proximity is a sign of trust or affection. You should click the subscribe box if you are beginning to recognize the significance of these Stoic insights in your day-to-day interactions. This will allow you to continue your education on how to read people more deeply and handle social situations with better judgment. All of these methods, which are all based on the ageless wisdom of Stoic philosophy, are the 6 quickest ways to read people without even having to know them to begin with. You now have a tool set that allows you to grasp what individuals are truly feeling and thinking, even if they never utter a word. This includes their body language, their eyes, their tone of voice, and even how they manage his or her personal space. It is important to keep in mind that the Stoics taught us to watch without passing judgment. We are not interested in making hasty conclusions. Rather, our objective is to comprehend other people with clarity and patience. Your ability to perceive things will get more acute the more you practice in this area. In the event that you found this to be helpful, please remember to subscribe and share it with someone who could benefit from some Stoic knowledge in their life. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the upcoming videos.